Lots of folks to thank. Tom's going to do some of it, but I do need to mention quickly. We're doing this in partnership with the Craven Community College, who is such a good partner in this market. Ray Stats is home sick. Jim Millard and his Gym 3 had to do that right away. Jim and his team have worked hard getting us ready for tonight, so Jim, we thank you for that. David Wayne from the Epiphany School is our timekeeper, and of course, General Tom over here is going to moderate this thing, for which I'm very grateful. So thank you all for being here. We've worked very hard to put together a professional, respectful, and informative evening for you. We want you to have as much information as you can when early voting starts tomorrow. We have got a ton of questions and a ton of topics we've covered. We feel like we're going to cover an awful lot of information tonight. So here we go.
Is that all you have to say?
That's me.
Okay. Just checking. Well, welcome. It is nice to have all of you here this evening. We have a lot to cover, so we're going to do it pretty quickly. So bear with me if I'm talking a little bit faster than I normally do, which is probably too fast anyway. But we're living in a great nation. I'm sorry, you can't hear me.
A little bit too, very good. There.
How about now? Is that better? Okay. The same thing with our gentlemen up here on the panel. If you can't hear them, ask them to speak up, and after about 47 tries, we'll have the microphones close enough you'll be able to hear us. Okay, we're going to exercise some of the great liberties that we have in the country, and one of those is deciding who should be the leaders. And we're going to vote, and tonight we're going to be looking at candidates who would like to be the leaders of your fine community of Newburgh. As early as tomorrow, you can start your voting, because tomorrow is early voting, and it'll be at Stanley White, and it'll run through the 4th, and after that you can go over and do the real voting at the City Hall. Counts exactly the same as the others, so take your choice as the best you can. But this is your chance tonight to not just hear rumors and not just see what's on the internet, but to actually listen to those who are running for the office, and they're going to tell you what they think about certain things and why they're doing it, and then you can make some decisions. I think I was asked to be the moderator for a couple of reasons. One is I don't live in the city of Newburgh. I love Newburgh, but I live in Trent Woods, so I can't vote. So I'm probably as independent as one can be, but that's one of the reasons they picked me. The other one is not because I look like Clint Eastwood, but because I can act like it. So I am the time enforcer. All the gentlemen know what time limits they have put on them tonight, and should they exceed one of those time limits, I will simply cut them off, just like taking their knees out. So don't be surprised, and it's not their fault, it's because we want to get some things done. So we'll just make it run along nice and smoothly. I do want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for the work they've done to put this all together, and I'm really sorry that Ray Stats can't be with us tonight for two reasons. One is he is the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce this year, and secondly, he's the president of the community college, and he's just sicker than a dog, so thanks to him for not coming to share with us, because that we didn't. He did send Jim Millard, who Jim's one of the vice presidents, and Kathleen is here, and she's also one of the leaders of the community college, and we thank them for doing all the work to set this up and be ready. I thank David Wang from the Epiphany. He's going to be our timer, and he's going to be making some sense. So if you see somebody waving little cards up here, don't worry about it, they're not for you. The gentlemen up here know exactly what those cards mean. So let's first of all give you your rules, because there are rules for the audience as well as rules for the contestants. Candidates have worked really hard to get ready for this, so they're going to be under enough pressure without any distractions from the audience. So we want to be fair to all of them, and we want your fellow citizens to be able to hear every single word. So please be as quiet as you can be for about the next 90 to 120 minutes. Turn your cell phones and pagers off or select the silent mode. You will hear some comments that you will like and some with which you don't agree. No groans, no moans, No poking someone and say, do you believe he said that? None of that, because that distracts all four of the candidates, and that's not a fair thing to do. We have a lot to cover tonight, so I'm going to ask all of you, please do not applaud at all until we've gone through all of the questions, and I'll tell you when it's your time to applaud. But until then, don't. Just sit there and absorb and understand what's going on, if you would, please. The candidates know what times they're allotted for what, so I'm going to explain that to you so you will understand why they're talking a little quicker, or maybe why I cut somebody off. Each candidate is going to be given 2 minutes for an opening statement. After they all get their opening statements, we'll start the questions. Each candidate will respond to the same question, and they will get 2 minutes in responding to that question. And then at the end of that, each one will be able to do a closing statement, and they will get 3 minutes for their closing statements. So if you should see David waving a sign around up here, a little placard, or if you look at one of them going, or if you listen to me and I say, thank you very much, then that means that their time is up. That's the reason we're doing that. They will all get a chance to be first on a question. They'll all get a chance to be second, third, or fourth. The person who is first obviously has to think on his feet very quickly because they have not seen any of these questions. The second person has a little time to think and he can make some notes, and the third has more time than the fourth. So the next time around, the second person gets to answer the question first. That's kind of the sequence of why you'll see them sort of moving a little bit on the sides. All the candidates have been asked if they would wait a little bit after the forum is over for you to go up and ask them questions if you didn't hear the question answered during the forum. So they will all be out in the lobby, and you're welcome to there. And they said they would stay until I think 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. So you don't have to rush for that. Is that right? Yep. See, they're all nodding. Okay. Okay. Remember, you're going to be electing here starting shortly the mayor for the next 4 years. It's not for a day. This is not queen for a day. This is the mayor for 4 years. So give it some hard thought, listen to what they have to say, and then you can ask some questions afterwards. Our candidates for tonight, we have Holly Raby, Greg Fay, Jeff Odom, and Scott Andrews are the four. So we're going to start with the opening remarks. And Holly, would you please start with the opening remark?
Thank you, Chamber of Commerce and the City of New Bern for coming and being here with us today. Thank you, Chamber of Commerce, for putting this on. My name is Holly Raby. I've been living here in the city for the past 26 years, born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. I am a retired Marine of 28 years. I faithfully served a ministry here in the city for the past 21 years. And so I find the City of New Bern a great place to live, a great place to raise a family, and a great opportunity to lead the city into the next dimension, to broaden our horizons, and to ensure that everyone is included, inclusiveness, and to grow and develop into a city where everyone would be proud. And I hope and believe that you would give me the opportunity to do that.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've been married to my wife 30 years. Sherry's here. God bless you. Thank you. So we together, we've raised 4 sons. 4 of them, they were all active duty. 3 are still active duty. And so we raised them here, and so we decided to stay here in the city. God bless you.
Now you have a place to go home.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Fahey, please.
My name is Gregory Ryan Fay. Thank you for coming out tonight. I grew up in New Bern. I'm a native. I've been here 43 years. My father owned the print shop in New Bern for 37 years. My mother was a teacher at First Presbyterian Preschool for 17 years. They've had a strong marriage together, 5 children. I'm the youngest of those 5. I grew up here, as I was saying, and My plan for New Bern is intensive. I have a 444-point plan that covers every aspect of the local government, including restructuring the way the board runs, going back to the charter, the 1957 charter, to where the mayor only votes if there's a tie. That way we can prevent what we have going on now. Some other aspects of myself are I went to high school, New Bern High. I ran track, played soccer. I have 3 beautiful daughters, which I would like to see grow up in a town that does not have debt incurred. So to keep taxes low, I would like to keep the cost of living lower in New Bern through a varied implementation of my plan. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Odoms, please.
Well, thank you again to the New Bern Area Chamber of Commerce for putting this on tonight. Thank you to Craven Community College for hosting this. Great venue. General, it's great to see you here, sir, doing what you always do. My name is Jeffrey Odom. I am the current mayor and have been since August of 2022. It's been a true honor to serve my hometown as your mayor. My wife, Jeannie, is sitting, I think, on the 3rd row, and it's really hard to see here. 3rd row of 23 years. She's a West Craven graduate. I'm a New Bern High School graduate, so we have a little fun with that. My son, Gavin, is sitting next to her. He's a junior at New Bern Christian Academy, and they have been with me through this political process that started back in 2013 when I was the 6th Ward Alderman for 9 years. New Bern is a special place. I think we can probably all agree upon that. What makes it special, though, is not necessarily the buildings, the architecture, the geography. It's the people. And it's evident by those that are sitting in this room tonight that you care enough about this community to take time out of your busy schedule to come learn about what the leadership could look like for this city for the next 4 years. Experience matters, especially in this election. I've got the experience to keep the city moving forward. If you want to talk about progress, you can look around. It's evident, whether it's Martin Marietta Park, whether it's Footloose on the News, where we have record-breaking crowds on Friday night that offers a free opportunity for everyone in this community to enjoy. Those are just a couple of the items that we've been able to accomplish here throughout the city. There's a lot more on the horizon. Looking forward to this evening. Looking forward to the opportunity to talk with you all about our city and how we're going to continue moving forward. And it looks like I've got the red card, and it's not soccer, so I guess I can keep playing. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Odom. And Mr. Andrews, please.
Absolutely. Again, I second everything Mayor Odom said. Thank you to Craven Community College. Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce. And thank you, General, for being here as well. It's great to see you. And everyone out here. It's great to see a bunch of faces in the crowd that I do know and may not know. But, this is getting up and talking in front of people. I enjoy doing it, but it's a little different when you're in a campaign. So, I reached out to my buddy an hour ago. His name's Sean Armstrong. He's a pitcher for the Texas Rangers. And I said, Sean, how do you get up and pitch in front of 50,000 people and go out there and know that you've got what it takes? And he said, I just trust my abilities. So that's what I'm going to do up here tonight, and just trust myself and trust my abilities. And I'm going to share this with you since this is a formal setting. I'm a vulnerable guy, and last night I couldn't really sleep. I was trying to figure everything out. My mind was racing, so I went down to East Front Street and sat down at one of the benches and just started thinking. And that brought me to tears. So if you do come by last night at 12:15 downtown, you can see me sitting on a park bench crying. And that's because of all of the amazing support that I've gotten from people throughout this race, and it all just kind of hit me at once. My campaign logo is a heart stitched together, and so many people in this community have stitched me together in so many different ways. My amazing parents, my sister down here, and cousins, not just family, but also, citizens of New Bern as well. So, I wanted to try and give back what I've been given, and that's why I'm up here right now. And it's an absolute honor, and I appreciate everybody for coming out and, listening to us all, because it means a lot, and it's important. So, thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you all for your opening statements. Now we're going to begin with the questions. And Mr. Raby, we'll begin with you. If elected, please share with us what your priorities for your first 90 days in office would be.
Well, my first priority is to work closely with the Board of Aldermen, the city manager, to ensure that we can come together and work with cohesiveness, to bring together all the plans and the ideals for the city to move forward. I think that having cohesion will make for a better team, and we can hear each other and we can solve things amongst ourselves. I believe that if we can't do that, we can't move the city forward. I would focus then on the very important matters of the city, which is our infrastructure and our stormwater issues and some of the concerns that the city have concerning public safety. So I would focus on that. I would give it close attention. I would give it close priority because it's important that our city have a strong infrastructure, whether it be the power, whether it be public works, and because all of that affects the whole city. So I would focus on that. But we can't do it effectively if we don't have a strong team. And so 28 years in the Marine Corps, from private to E9, I know how to collaborate, I know how to bring people together, and I know how to take a vision and pitch it, and so that we all can reach the goals that we believe that the city would prosper.
Thank you, Mr. Raby. Mr. Fay, the same question. If elected, please share with us what your priorities for your first 90 days in office would be.
First thing we'd do is get together, have some fun. We would pray together and come together as a team, as Raby was saying. In the first 90 days, I would like to adjust the current charter, as I was stating before. I would like to readdress the zoning. I would like to expand the zoning. Other things include the infrastructure, the roads, looking into that. How can we make the city flow better? How can we make the traffic lights better to where you can drive through without hitting so many lights? Address the housing needs. I have a program for that I would like to get started. I would like to just bring all these things to the board, make sure our meetings are cohesive. I would like to make more town hall meetings so we can all come together and make those decisions together to where things aren't spread out so far. I would like to just readdress any issues that citizens are having, like to get our meetings to where we have meetings for each district and to run the business of the mayor through the aldermen so each district can have their own voice and their own way.
Thank you, Mr. Fay. And Mr. Odom, I'll read the question one more time. If elected, please share with us what your priorities for your first 90 days in office would be.
Thank you, General. I think the first thing that's already been said is you have to assemble a new team. There will be a new team established, and as I said the night I was sworn in as mayor, at that point in time, the election is over, the campaigning is over, then it's time to govern. We would immediately begin to start governing. The first thing we would do is have a board retreat. That doesn't mean a retreat somewhere at some luxurious hotel. It could be a retreat right here in New Bern, but it's a retreat to get the board together, get our staff together, so the new board members can understand what's already in place and what's already in motion. Throughout this campaign, I've heard a lot of ideas and thoughts of things that's already in the works, so I think it would be important to make sure the new board members are fully aware of what's already in motion. The second thing is I would find a couple of aldermen that would go with me to Washington, D.C., because it's extremely important that we secure the funding for this C&I grant through HUD. We've been working on that program since 2014. It will be generational transformation for this community that has been needed for a long, long time. We do not want that funding to pass away, so we need to get a delegation of a few folks to go to Washington DC to meet with our legislators, which we've already done a couple of times before, but it's important that we do that and we stay in their ear. And then the third piece would be, during that retreat, is talk about the results of the bond. The bond that you all will have on your ballot whenever you go to vote, you'll have three choices: parks and recreation, streets and transportation, and stormwater. Depending on whether or not one, two, or all of those bonds pass, the City of Board of Aldermen needs to be prepared on moving forward with those projects, because things in government move slow, if you don't know that. And we want to make sure that if you approve those bonds, that we move expeditiously to make sure we bring those projects to fruition. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Odom. And Mr. Andrews, same question. If elected, please share with us what your priorities for your first 90 days in office would be.
Absolutely, that's a great question. And for me, I think it goes back to coaching. I've coached for 15 years in this community on and off. And the first thing I do when I get a new team is try to understand every single player that is on my team, down to how they grew up, down to what they like to eat. I mean, understand them on a human level. And for me, that's what I would like to do with the first 90 days. Is really focus on understanding the people who help run this city, and understand what their job duties are, and really understand what the club points are that they have, and understand what we might be able to do to help them do their job more effectively. Because without that, a lot of the problems that we see, we hear about, can't get fixed in an efficient way, in my opinion. So I think it takes, a leader to come in and get down to the nitty-gritty with the people who are running things, who are in charge of making these changes, and starting at the top and working our way down and meeting everyone else in the middle, all of you in the middle with all your concerns that you have with this city. So, I'm very familiar with the coaching realm, and I want to bring that into City Hall, and I want to bring that into the seat of mayor, and make sure that everybody's heard, whether they are a city government employee or whether it's a constituent like yourselves. So that's my plan for the first 90 days, and I think it just has to go back to the ground level, the people. The people is what makes this city what it is, and that's what's going to make a difference moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Andrews. Now we'll start the second question. And Mr. Fay, we're going to start with you. Where do you stand on the upcoming bond referendum that will be on the ballot next month?
I am opposed to the bonds only because we are currently close to $50 million in the deficit as far as what the city owes in loans. This will put us another close to 25 million, so a total of 75 million for a population of 30,000 to pay back, which is going to take over 20 years, which means our children will be paying it back. I would like to find alternative ways to make sure this stuff can go through. I do like the bond, the items in the bond, but I believe we can find another way to pay for it, other than taking out loans that will have to be paid back with the interest.
Thank you, Mr. Fay. Mr. Odom, where do you stand on the upcoming bond referendum that will be on the ballot next month?
Thank you, General. I support all three bonds. If there are some money trees that I'm not aware of that free money comes from, please let me know, because we would love to be able to plant some of those. The funding from the government comes from one source, and that's all of us sitting in this room. So if you want to get a grant from the federal government or the state government, guess what? Their money comes from those of us in this room. There are private grants certainly out there, but to do infrastructure projects are few and far between. The city has spent $25 million over the last 5 years in drainage improvements. The stormwater bond will help continue to fix some of those issues we've experienced. When we talk about streets and sidewalks, we spend an average of $1 million a year, which keeps our PCR rating higher than the state average. So when you look at the streets in New Bern, they are better quality than the average across the state of North Carolina. This bond would allow us to do about 10 years worth of work in one fell swoop and greatly improve our road systems, because the road system is the #1 asset that a municipality owns. As far as the Parks and Recreation bond, I've been in office since 2013. I hear from people all the time that we need more activities, more things for our kids and our youth. This Parks and Recreation bond will implement the various phases that remain at Bern Mayoral Park. It will provide our youth more opportunities. It will also provide others opportunities with pickleball courts. It will bring in some economic development because we'll be able to have baseball tournaments over at Southwest Park at West New Bern where we can't host those now. So the Parks and Recreation bond provides an opportunity to bring in additional revenue where the other bonds are true expenditures. So if I were to rank those, I would put streets and sidewalks number 1, Parks and Recreation number 2, and the stormwater number 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Odom. Mr. Simmons, where do you stand on the upcoming bond referendum that will be on the ballot next month?
Andrews,
And, I'm sorry,
just in case y'all vote.
I'll just say Scott, how's that?
That works. It's all good. No, I'm also for the bond referendum, all 3 of them. I think that it will set the next board up for success. I think it will set the city up for success moving forward. There's a lot of things that need to happen. That takes money. So we've got to get that money somewhere, and I think this bond is the best way to do that. However, I do think that we need total transparency and really great communication with where that money's going, and how it's going to be used, and making sure people are updated along the way, with each bond referendum that may or may not get passed. I'd love to work with our amazing PIO, Colleen Roberts, who's in charge of getting all that information out there and try to find better ways to make sure the community's informed with all these things so that we're not just passing these referendums and then y'all don't hear anything about it and see little bits and pieces there. My background is in communication, so I know I can do that very effectively. The other thing, that I've researched is looking to see how we can spend these bond dollars more efficiently with certain technologies, with AI, with smart streetlights that, may save us up to, 40% energy costs on some of these streetlights, and looking to maybe redirect some of these dollars to, again, make that single dollar go a little further for everybody, for the taxpayers who are going to be fronting the bill. So I think that we just really need to look at some better ways to spend it that make sense, that can be more proactive, that can help us plan for the future. And I think technology can help us do that, and we would be one of the leading cities in the state to jump on something like that. So that's my plan, and that's how I feel about the bonds.
Thank you, Mr. Scott Andrews. Mr. Raby, where do you stand on the upcoming bond referendum that will be on the ballot next month?
I support it, but we must understand that it has its pros and cons. And I support it because I believe that if we are going to be better, we have to do better. And I strongly believe that we should have safe streets and paved streets, and I'm sure the citizens get tired of getting wheel alignments because of the bumps in the road. But I believe that. I believe that it will enhance our city. Likewise for the Parks and Recreation, I believe that if New Bern is the place where things happen, then we should have something here for when the tourists come. And so I believe that. I believe that we should have a better Parks and Recreation, not just for the tourists, but for the city as a whole. And the stormwater. Now, if I had a choice of which one should be 1, 2, and 3, I would make stormwater 1 because stormwater seems to be more of a challenge for us as a whole. And I wouldn't just put $8 million there, I would put more because we know that stormwater affects all of us, and we all know that that's a challenge. And so I would vote for it. Now, we understand that, of course, it's gonna increase our taxes slightly, just slightly. But the way I look at that, there's gonna be an offset because the city is growing exponentially. So it's growing, so we here that are here now, we're not gonna be the only ones that's gonna to repay that debt. And so as we grow, that balance will be spread out amongst the new citizens that will come. So I fully support the referendum.
Thank you, sir. Our next question, and Mr. Odom, we'll be starting with you. Our downtown area is a vibrant hub for tourism, business, and community living. As mayor, how would you work to balance your attention to the greater New Bern area?
Great question. It's something that comes up quite a bit, especially every 4 years during an election. Oftentimes people think that there's a lot more tax dollars that's spent downtown than in other parts of the city. But there's something called the MSD, the Municipal Service District. That is an additional tax that the property owners within those boundaries pay in addition to the regular ad valorem tax that all of us that are property owners pay throughout the city. That additional tax goes for infrastructure projects within that border of downtown. So when you see the nice cobblestone streets, you see the underground utilities, all of that was paid for through that additional tax that those property owners pay for downtown. What I do think we can do a better job of is partnering with the various organizations such as Swiss Bear and the Chamber of Commerce, since they're both located downtown, to make sure we have more diversity in our shopping opportunities downtown. The free market is going to ultimately dictate what sort of businesses go downtown, but we also need a variety. And if that's working with property owners to potentially fund grant opportunities, which I know Swiss Bear does now, but whatever we can do to invest in the downtown community, but also give them the fair representation that they deserve. They do pay an additional tax, but they also pay the same base ad valorem tax that we all do as well. So we shouldn't expect that everything that they get downtown be paid for out of the MSD, because they are also paying the regular ad valorem tax. So that's why they get a little bit more at times than what we do in other parts of the city. But I do think diversity in businesses downtown and whatever we can do to help make that connection with the various nonprofits that are already in that arena will be beneficial. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Odom. Mr. Scott Andrews.
You'll get the hang
Our
of it.
downtown area is a vibrant hub for tourism, business, and community living. As mayor, how would you work to balance your attention and the city's resources between the downtown and the rest of the greater New Bern area?
Absolutely. This is a question that is pretty near and dear to me because I've grown up with a lot of the business owners in this community, especially downtown. I do a lot of work for them. A lot of them are clients of mine with my marketing company, so I'm constantly working with them face to face about trying to figure out ways to get more people in the door. Because if more people are coming to spend money with them, that's just better for the entire community. And obviously our downtown community is a large hub for tourists, so making sure there is an emphasis on that is a big piece of it. And I think that really it boils back down to connecting people. I don't know how many of the how many resources from the city that we really need to implement if we maybe start with business owners talking to business owners and connecting people and trying to get people to work together, because some of the things going on downtown, there's businesses feuding and not getting along with each other, and that's not okay. That's not great for this town. So putting a lot of emphasis on connecting those business owners together to try and lift each other up. The city does do a great job of putting a lot of events on, like Footloose on the news, which has been fantastic. But I think we can even take that to the next level and try and highlight some of these downtown businesses and really make sure that people are going out to eat beforehand or afterwards and going and having a drink somewhere. So I think, we can definitely take a more strategic approach to that, and using the platform that we have, we know all these people are going to be gathered. How can we use some city resources to push people to some of those other businesses? And that goes for the rest of the town as well, not just downtown. So yeah, I do this every day, working with these people and trying to get people in the doors and trying to grow their businesses, and that's what I would like to do as mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Andrews. Mr. Reed.
I believe tourism is important. Tourism is a revenue, and it's prosperity in that. And I believe that downtown, the historic downtown, is a great spot for tourism. It's working well. But what I would do is I would balance the field. For as much as we put downtown, I would put some uptown. I would invest in us. I would invest in the city and bring in an industry or enterprise and place it in the uptown area so that the tourism isn't just downtown, but the people can come uptown and see what the rest of New Bern is. The people from uptown go downtown to enhance downtown. And so I just think that it would be fair to just balance the playing field. Bring some uptown, spread it out, whether it be so much at a time. But I just believe that we have come at a time we come to a point where it's time to spread the wealth.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Fabian, our downtown area is a vibrant hub for tourism, business, and community living. As mayor, how would you work to balance your attention and the city's resources between the downtown and the rest of the greater New Bern area?
Downtown gets a lot of attention, as it should. I think we're doing a good job down there. I would like to see that same concept spread out around the community. I would like to put a primary focus on the Craven Terrace area and Pembroke area. The $80 million grant we're getting, instead of putting that in Trent Court, I would like to put that in Pembroke and get some of those roads. Some of those roads are grass. So put part of that money towards putting new roads in, sidewalks, and the housing development that we want to put in Trent Court over there. That way, that will help grow that area, and we can use the waterfront there for a park. So as the city grows, we're going to need more green space. If we fill all our green space with buildings, when in the future, as we spread out, we're going to be congested. And this will help have gaps that the whole community can use, and also build up other areas in our city that desperately need it.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Andrews, we'll start this question with you. What past leadership position have you held that best helped prepare you to be mayor, and how?
Absolutely. So I have always been a leader in any room, I feel like. A lot of that goes back to my coaching. You know, if you're going to be coaching a bunch of young kids, you've got to be a leader. You've got to have a vision. And you've got to get all of them to buy into that vision and that leadership. And I've been very successful at that. Again, community connection, communication, coaching, the 3 C's. That's what my leadership is. I like to coach, I like to communicate, and that allows me to connect with so many people. I've grown up around here. I've also seen a lot of leaders. I've learned from a lot of leaders, a lot of great people in the church, a lot of great coaches, a lot of great teachers in the school system. So I've seen it firsthand. And, I'm the leader of my own company. I own my own company. I did all that by myself. I was the co-founder of Table Takeout, the first restaurant delivery service here. It starts with an idea, but being able to take that idea and make it into a reality, that's what I specialize in. I take something from the mind and I hand it over to you, something tangible. And I think that if your actions inspire others to dream more, to do more, to become more, that's what real leadership is. And that's what I've had success doing, not just in this community, but in others as well.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Raby, what past leadership position have you held that best helped prepare you to be mayor, and how?
28 years of honest and faithful service to our country as a United States Marine. The United States Marine Corps has equipped me from the time I was a private up to the time that I was a master gunnery sergeant. The Marine Corps has trained me in leadership. They've allowed me and trusted me to lead people, operations, deployments. And so even though we are the greatest fighting force in the world, I didn't just shoot every day, but I led Marines. I led exercises. I've been a part of budgets and developing budgets and being trusted with multi-million dollars worth of equipment, stateside and overseas. For the past 21 years, I have been senior pastor of Word of God Christian Center here in New Bern. There, they vote for me every week. And so there, I've had that opportunity to lead ministry, to help develop ministries, and be a part of international ministries around the world. So I don't just show up as a Marine, I don't just show up as a faith leader, but I show up as a leader, proven leader, decorated Marine. ready to bring that experience to this city and lead this city to the next dimension.
Thank you, Mr. Raby. Mr. Fay, what past leadership position have you held that best helped prepare you to be mayor, and how?
I've run 2 companies, North Carolina Landscapes and Hurricane Milling. Both of these profited in the first year. I had several small teams help me with that. One of the things that makes me more so a leader is raising 3 little girls, and they're doing very well. But more so than being a leader, and I run the garden ministry at Bryce's Creek Bible Church, which helps feed the community, and that is a lot of fun. It also keeps me grounded. But more so than being a leader, I consider myself a servant. I want to serve in the ways that you guys need, not so much in the way I want to be. So I've developed a plan, but I want to serve that plan with you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Fay. Mr. Odom, what past leadership position have you held that best helped prepare you to be mayor, and how?
I started my professional career as a part-time sales associate at Glidden Paint Company. Right out of high school, I did that for 3 years, and then I got promoted into an outside sales rep. I did that for 8 years. I took a $600,000 territory and doubled it in 1 year. I've progressed throughout my career. I've worked for the same company that I started with in 1997. I think that is a testament to leadership in itself in today's corporate world to be able to survive that. Not to mention that since July or August of 2022, I've been the mayor of the city of New Bern and have led this city. Prior to that, I viewed myself as a leader on the Board of Aldermen. And when we talk about the last question, we talked about bringing the downtown money uptown. One example of that is the Harris Teeter Shopping Center, the New Bern Marketplace. There were 27 different parcels that were assembled to put that shopping center together. That was the first time in the history of the city of New Bern that the city of New Bern put an economic development package together to make sure a development happened. And it happened. The return on that investment paid for itself in a lot shorter of time period than we thought it would, because we all have supported that shopping center. So I think it's important when we look at leadership, we look at what we've done, because it's very evident throughout this community what some of us have done versus what a slogan is on the sign. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, let's go with our 5th round of questions, and Mr. Raby, we're back to you. We are seeing continued residential growth in the city. It has been acknowledged that the city's electrical infrastructure is aging and its capacity to support future growth is in question. As mayor, what solutions would you favor to address this issue?
Yes, sir. Yes. Very good question. So, as a leader, I would get with the city manager, the power company, Board of Aldermen, and we will sit down and discuss the intricate details of why it's fractured, the condition it's in, and then present a plan to fix it. We are behind, so we must decide which non-hurting programs that we have now, what are we willing to risk to fix it and to get it right? It must be fixed, and so we must sit at the table and address that issue and work it out specifically what those items are. If we have to do something specific within the budget, then let's do something specific within the budget to make the necessary adjustment. I understand that the power company is an enterprise, and I understand how monies cannot cross-transfer. I understand that. And so as a city, as smart people, we send people to the moon, then I'm sure that the city of New Bern have enough smart people to sit down at the table to fix the infrastructure. I'm the first one to say I don't know what I don't know, but there's some smart leaders already in place that we can bring together and to address the issue so that our infrastructure is sound and that we don't ever have to experience what we're experiencing again.
Thank you, Mr. Raby. Mr. Fay, we are seeing continued residential growth in the city. It has been acknowledged that the city's electrical infrastructure is aging and its capacity to support future growth is in question. As mayor, what solutions would you favor to address this issue?
One is I second what Raby said, but also check ourselves on our growth. Make sure we are growing at a rate that can support our electrical system. Two, I would like us to look into geothermal, research that. There's several hot spots under New Bern and under Craven County. I would like to look into that as being a possible power source as well.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Odom, we are seeing continued residential growth in the city. It has been acknowledged that the city's electrical infrastructure is aging and its capacity to support future growth is in question. As mayor, what solutions would you favor to address this issue?
Residential growth and commercial growth are positive. That adds to our tax base. That helps keeps our tax rates low. What the issue is with the electric grid is back in the 1980s when the city of New Bern decided to join in with the Electricities, which is a co-op of 32 municipalities throughout the state, because they thought there was going to be a shortage on electrical power. So they built some power generation plants. They cost a whole lot more than they thought they were going to. So that debt has been paid for by those member cities for the past few decades. That debt is paid for in 2025. That debt and that burden is no longer upon us. In the past, it was very important for us to grow our electric grid because the more customers that we had on the grid, the more we could spread that debt service out. That is no longer the case. City of New Bern has electric service and customers all the way down to Havelock. We have customers within our city limits that are Duke Energy customers, myself being one of them. My neighbor across the street is on the City of New Bern. We have a disjointed electric system, more so than we do an outdated electric system. What needs to happen is the new board needs to sit down with representatives from Duke, and we need to talk strategically about the future of the electric grid in New Bern. Because right now, our electric rates are lower than Duke Energy, okay? If we want to invest and we want to do more and we want to do better and we want to expand the electric grid, we have to raise the rates. I'm pretty sure if I asked who in this room wanted your electric rate increased, probably wouldn't be too many hands raised. That's why we need to be more specific about our growth in the future versus just throwing money at a problem, because that's the easy answer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Andrews, we are seeing continued residential growth in the city. It has been acknowledged that the city's electrical infrastructure is aging and its capacity to support future growth is in question. As mayor, what solutions would you favor to address this issue?
Sure, as Mayor Odom just said, obviously if we're going to grow, we're going to need more money to grow the electric grid. And I have spoke with the mayor of Wake Forest over the past couple of weeks, in addition to a few other people, and they're having to do the same thing. They had to do a rate increase as well. But I asked her, I said, well, how did the people of the town of Wake Forest respond to that? And she said they didn't, people were upset, but they didn't get a ton of blowback on that. And, she pointed to the fact that it's because they were very transparent about it all the way through. They didn't just spring it on people. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but there's a way to get the message out there early on so that people understand why the electric rate is going to increase. Now, for me, I've been looking at other solutions to help with this. Again, some of the AI stuff, some of the technology that we can implement. How about a smart dashboard so that you can log in each month and see, okay, week 1, I've used this much energy. Hey kids, make sure you turn off the lights. Now that's easier said than done, but at least you can track how much electricity you're using so that then you can make adjustments within your house, smarter light bulbs, better insulation, just giving people some more resources to help lower the cost that they can actually impact on themselves. I think that would be a great start, and obviously, it doesn't fix, it doesn't grow a money tree. None of that's going to help. It's going to go back to the citizens of New Bern, But, you know, the other side of it is to make sure that we are looking into the future and understanding what upgrades we're gonna have to make in the future and going ahead and planning for that. So I don't know what that looks like, but a plan rolled out for that would be great too.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Fay, your turn to begin again. The economic future of our community is largely dependent on new job creation and a prepared workforce. What plans would you have as mayor to increase employment opportunities and encourage business growth in New Bern?
To encourage business growth, I would make sure that opportunities that are available are made so on a public basis, kind of have a public job opportunity board, so to speak, online to where people can find jobs if needed. Try to bring in companies that are more future-based, more technology companies, things like that, that will get the younger generation back to New Bern. I know Raleigh usually does that, but I think we can do that as well. If we bring in more energy and stuff like that, we can bring in more people to work as well. As far as things to businesses to bring in, I would reach out to businesses, but it's up to the free market on that. I think if we improve our infrastructure, more sidewalks, make it more conducive to walking, things like that, we can get more foot traffic, we can get bike traffic, things like that. If we make our streets to where they flow better, you can get in and out of New Bern faster, I think we can bring in more jobs, bigger companies, things like that.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Odom, the economic future of our community is largely dependent on new job creation and a prepared workforce. What plans would you have as mayor to increase employment opportunities and encourage business growth in New Bern?
Thank you. I think what we would do is to continue what we've done that's been successful. So 11 years ago, Craven County came to the city of New Bern and the city of Havelock and asked us to join with them in creating a economic development public-private partnership. It's called the Craven 100 Alliance. I've been a member of that board since its inception, and here's some stats for you. In the past 11 years, there's been over $200 million worth of investment. There's been 20 different companies involved. 1,757 jobs have been created. Not even in those numbers, recently announced Chatsworth, 150 jobs they just added with a $15 million investment. And Bosch, BSH, they're expanding, 199 jobs, over $11 million investment. So what we're doing is the right thing. But oftentimes people get mixed up and confused with growth of new business versus growing what we already have here. It's very important to continue the infrastructure and the improvements of the industry that we have here and keep them here, because what's a lot more devastating to a community is when you lose one of those employers versus not getting the big fish that you're out there trying to reel in. So I think we need to continue what we're doing, but that is what C1A, the county focuses on. The city will continue to focus on the retail and the hospitality aspects. Chicken Salad Chick, some of these new businesses that you're seeing open that don't have 50 or 100 employers. They have 10 or 15. But that's jobs for our youth, it's jobs for our retirees that are looking to continue to contribute and have an income within the city. So my plan would be to continue what we're doing because it's been extremely successful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Andrews, the economic future of our community is largely dependent on new job creation and a prepared workforce. What plans would you have as mayor to increase employment opportunities and encourage business growth in New Bern?
Well, I love this one. So for me, again, it goes back to the people on the ground level. We've got so many amazing workers here in this city. And, you know, it could be a dishwasher, could be somebody out there mowing the lawn. You know, people do things to make money, whether or not it gets them out of bed in the morning. I want to help people grow and grow their mindset so that they know that they can go and do something that they really, really want to do. You know, people don't think about it, but trees grow in two directions. First, you gotta have those roots, some strong roots. And if you don't have that, you can't grow tall. So we need people who will help foster that growth. Businesses, helping out dishwashers, servers, people in the industry world, the service industry. I mean, that's a big one for me because I have a lot of friends in that industry. And a lot of them just go to work and go home, go to work and go home. And they don't think about what else could I be doing. You know, I had a conversation with one guy who's big into graphic arts and graphic design. Well, I get to talking with him, and next thing you know, I'm helping him out. You know, I'm sharing trade secrets with him, and I can just see the fire in his eyes just light up. You know, that's what we need. We need to get down, we need to talk to people, we need to talk to businesses, and we need to connect what people's passions are with people who can help drive those passions forward into a career that will make this city better. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Raby, the economic future of our community is largely dependent on new job creation and a prepared workforce. What plans would you have as mayor to increase employment opportunities and encourage business growth in New Bern?
Introduce a long-term economic plan that will be effective and prosperous for the entire city. We must stretch our faith and broaden our horizons. Though we may have had companies come and get started, but we must grow out. We must invite industry that's gonna come, and that industry that's gonna come, that's gonna pay livable wages. The days are over to think that people can live off of $12 and $14 an hour. So we must bring an industry, invite an industry to come, to bring jobs, long, steady jobs, good paying jobs. Bring them in. Let's broaden our horizon and ask companies to come. Let's partner and bring them in. And so though these companies we have, as the mayor said, that we have invited some companies to come, they have come. We have some small businesses, and that's all fine. But we can do better. We can stretch out. We can do better, because I believe that the city of New Bern is a great place to grow. It's a great place to develop. It's growing. So we must do like other cities, is bring in industry that's gonna, whereby the citizens can be employed and their lives can prosper like other cities.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Odom, you're first up this time. Describe your vision for the Choice Neighborhood Initiative.
Oh boy, the Choice Neighborhoods Initiative. That is certainly not my vision. That is a vision of the community. Back in 2014, when Congressman G.K. Butterfield came to New Bern and presented a check for a planning grant for this process, that kicked off years of work and community input. Things have changed. We had a hurricane. Hurricane Florence came in the middle of that process, so we had to go back and revamp that plan. I was meeting with some folks from HUD and some outside consultants, and they looked at the plan that has been put together for the Choice Neighborhoods Initiative and said it's the best plan that they've ever seen. The partnership that the city of New Bern has with the New Bern Housing Authority is what's going to make the difference in whether or not we're awarded this grant. This grant, as I mentioned in my opening statement, will be transformational for this community. It's long overdue. The good thing is it incorporates some of the things that Mr. Fay mentioned. The waterfront, where the old Housing Authority office sits now, will become a very large green space park for the community to use. The housing that we hear every forum I go to, every meet and greet, we hear about affordable housing. That is going to provide affordable housing for this community. It's going to take properties that have had years of neglect, tear them down and rebuild them and give people respectable housing to live in. So the Choice Neighborhoods Grant Initiative is something that we were told we would never get once we got the planning grant. You'll never get the implementation grant. New Bern's not big enough. You're not smart enough. We didn't take that for an answer.
Waterfront, to me, I just keep thinking about that. Again, going down there last night and sitting there and thinking about everything. There's just so much beauty in New Bern, and anything we can do to lift that up, showcase that more, which I think this will do, bring more industry in, bring more businesses in, give more job opportunities to these people, you know, who need it. I think it'll do all of that and more. And I'm really, really excited to see, what happens with that and what happens with that grant. I would love nothing more than having a park downtown New Bern, another bench that I can go cry on. So, yeah, I'm all for it, and I would love to help, make all that happen.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Raby?
Yes, I think the CNI, I think that is a great vision. I commend the people who came together and envisioned it and pitched it. For those of you who have not seen the layout, who have not seen the process, you're missing a treat. It is something great for the city, and I'm glad the city of New Bern has partnered with that CNI so that it will come to fruition. I too believe that the grant will be provided, and those funds will come forth, and it's going to really, really impact the city. And again, it goes with the ideal of bringing in fresh industry. It'll go right with it. It'll go with the ideal of bringing in Volkswagen, General Motors, bringing in bigger industry, and it'll impact. So yes, I agree with CNI, and I think it's something that everybody in this room, if you've not had the opportunity to take a look at it, I encourage you to go and look at it, but it is something that is really going to impact the city in the positive, especially if we can put together with it new industry. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Fay, describe your vision for the Choice Neighborhood Initiative.
I love it. I like the aspects of it. I would just like to move it. Like I was saying before, I'd like to put it over in Pembroke and maybe part of it over in James City. And that way we can alleviate the traffic downtown. Like I was saying before, more green spaces downtown. We could have football fields, basketball courts, more stuff for the kids to do. There's a large green area that we could use. There are massive trees that are, some are already there that I would hate to see torn down. But the project itself is amazing. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, sir. Okay, this is a kind of a two-parter, and it's complex, so I'm going to throw it at Mr. Scott Andrews. If your duties as mayor take you outside of the state, how would you describe New Bern to people you meet? That's the first part. The second part is, where do you want New Bern to be in 4 years?
Good two-parter there. The first one, I'll tell you what, driving across that bridge every single day, back and forth, I'm forever looking to my left or to my right of that skyline. There is no prettier place in the world. The embrace here is so strong. The people are so warm. The history comes to life when you're walking around downtown, and the sunsets, they paint the pictures of tomorrow. The sunrises, they give new hope for the day. There's no better place I've ever been that can heal me without having to go reach out to, professional help. I mean, really, the people are amazing, and the scenery. I mean, there's just something so serene and surreal sitting out by the water on a calm day and watching that sunset. But the warmth always comes from the people. All the people in my life, cannot say enough about it. I always tell people, if you visit a New Bern, you need to go. Everywhere you go, you're greeted with a smile on your face. I was just in Harris-Teeter the other day talking to a guy who came in from San Francisco, and he's like, man, everybody's smiling at me. And I'm like, what do you mean, bro? Like, yeah, that's what we do here, I mean, that's just how people are. And yeah, it's amazing to be a part of. But for the second part of that question, yeah, that's tough. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay,
I'm gonna leave it at that.
thank you, sir. Mr. Raby, it's kind of a two-parter. If your duties as mayor take you outside of the state, how would you describe New Bern to people you meet? And then secondly, where would you like New Bern to be in 4 years?
I would say that New Bern is the place to be. It's a great place to raise a family. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to work. I would talk about its traditions and its history and its culture. I would describe the city of New Bern as a great place where nonprofits are thriving and helping the city to be what it is. I would describe the city of New Bern as a place where everybody is welcome, that no one is left out. Where I would like to see the city in 4 years is I would like to see C&I come alive. I would like to see the city prosper financially. I would like to see the people prosper. I would like the city of New Bern to be DEI as it is in heaven. I would like for the city of New Bern to be a place where everybody can thrive, or everybody is thriving, because New Bern is a great place to live.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Fay, if your duties as mayor take you outside of the state, how would you describe New Bern to people you meet? And then, what would you like New Bern to be in 4 years?
I describe New Bern as a gem. It's a beautiful place. The people here are lovely. There's so much to do here. So many great restaurants to eat at, local places. The downtown is wonderful. All the walking paths and the history tours, everything is just great. We have a very varied population, and it reflects that. We have the culture that just everybody comes together. It's great. We have the theaters, all that good stuff. The water, we're right by the beach. It is awesome. In 4 years, that's relatively soon, government speaking. So in 4 years, the main thing I would like to see is the flow of the city as far as getting around, being able to get around a little faster, and having more movability on foot via sidewalks and stuff like that.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Odom, if your duties as mayor take you outside of the state, how would you describe New Bern to people you meet? And then finally, what would you like New Bern to be in 4 years?
I have had this opportunity on numerous occasions with my job to travel out of state, interacting with customers and employees. The way I describe New Bern is home. I tell them that this is where I was born and raised, this is where I've raised my family, and it's the place that everybody wants to end up. So when I've had opportunities throughout my career to move and progress in my career, I've turned every one of them down because I'm already where everybody wants to be. Where I want to see it in 4 years, I want to see the projects that we have on a shelf, and the projects that we've been working on for so long brought to fruition, and some of them brought to closure. We have these bond referendums in front of the public. If you all choose to move forward with those, we will get those started and some of them completed. I want to see Martin Marietta completed. That's a project that's a great success story. For those that don't know, please see me afterwards. I'll be happy to share with you how that came about. But what you see at Martin Marietta Park right now has been all in kind and donated. There's not even city taxpayer dollars that's going out there for what we have, but it can be so much better than what it is. And this bond referendum will get us there. I want to see New Bern in 4 years provide an opportunity, if anybody wants a job, that you can get a job. I also want to see New Bern continue the feel and the charm that we have now. We have to be careful because a lot of people want to come to New Bern. When I share a story on social media about how good New Bern is, people say, oh, don't share that, don't take it all out, this is our little secret. The secret's out, folks. We're going to grow. But I think we have to be smart about that. And that also means there may be some large employers and large industries that may not fit with our character. And those would be some tough conversations to have. But we also have to make sure that we have to take care of our residents. That's our #1 priority. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, now it's time for closing remarks. So we're going to run right down the table. Mr. Raby, you're going to be first up. You have 3 minutes to tell them why you are the man. Sir.
I see an opportunity to bring leadership and to lead a city into the next dimension. I see an opportunity to be transparent with integrity and an advocate for the entire city, for everyone. I see an opportunity to bring forth my leadership and my skill set to an existing government body that we can come together and make things better. I don't know it all, and I'm the first to say that. But there's nothing that has been brought before me that I have been found a failure in. And so I believe that in being the mayor, I would be the mayor for everybody. Everybody. And my hope is to make the city better, is to strengthen the city and in the infrastructure. And so I just want to serve. I want to serve everybody. So I believe that if you gave me the opportunity, I would do everything that I can to bring integrity, to bring transparency, to bring diversity, and to bring love. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Raby. Mr. Fay, your opportunity to close.
The reason I want to run for mayor and to be your mayor is to bring cohesiveness with the board and myself, to be able to run it semi like a business, to where each ward is responsible for their ward and reports back, and then we can vote on stuff together. If the vote comes to a tie, that's when I vote, and only then. Also, I'm the mayor with the plan. I have a 12 to 16 year plan to put in place that will create better infrastructure, better communication, and better just overall stability with the town. One thing I also bring to the table is I'm the only mayor running as a full-time position. So this would be my job. There would be nothing deviating me from being in any other regard other than mayor. And I would be there to serve the people.
Mr. Odom, sir.
I want to thank the chamber again for this opportunity, the college, and you, General Broughton. You did a very good job. Thank you, sir, for keeping us on task. I've got several notes here that I could read from, and I would just say, instead of going through this list of talking points, Scott's tugged on my heart. He's had that over the past couple of minutes here, so I'm going to try not to cry. There's no park benches here. But, the reality is here that I hope each and every one of you that came out tonight, you heard from your four choices. I think you have a very good opportunity to decide whether or not we continue to move the city forward and look at what has been done and what has been accomplished, or you can go on hope and a promise. I've heard a lot of what I would do and why I would do what I would do tonight, but there's one missing piece, it's the how. It's easy to come up with thoughts and ideas. I can tell you, I was sitting in these seats as a challenger many times. It's easy when you're not in that seat to say what you would do. I'm here to tell you, with my experience in this position, I know what can be done, I know what cannot be done. I know what we've done already, I know where we're heading, and I know that we are on the cusp of really doing some great things in this city. I'm gonna try to read something if I've got enough time. Pierce Godwin, he's a recent New Bird transplant. He started a movement called Listen First. I'm gonna read to you quickly. Starting today, you can choose community over chaos and become a uniter by seeing dignity across divides, listening with curiosity to a broader array of perspectives, and boldly working together across differences to fix things you agree that are broken. if you would be, I'd be so honored if you would consider giving me your vote that starts tomorrow during early voting. If not, Election Day is October 7th. I will continue to work for you. I will answer the phone when you call. I will respond to you. I will get you an answer when you need something. You want a mayor that's responsive. I have been that mayor and will continue to be that mayor if you give me 4 more years. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Andrews, you are tailing Charlie.
Well, first of all, yes, thank you to the Chamber, thank you to Craven Community College, and thank you as well, General. Also, if you see Mayor Odom and I downtown crying together on a park bench later tonight, please don't stop, keep it moving. We're just doing our thing.
That won't happen.
No, I was trying to figure out how to answer the last part of that last question. How do I see New Bern in the next 4 years? And it was tough because, again, for me, I think the change has to start with the people. There's lots of things that need to be done with infrastructure and, housing, electricity, all over the board. But, I know one thing I can affect on a day-to-day basis, and that's how people feel. And, my mom sent me a quote this morning, thanks, Mom, says, every morning you have 2 choices. Continue to sleep with your dreams or wake up and chase them. And as mayor, I feel like I'm capable. I know that I'm capable of leading people, of giving people light, of putting a smile on faces, and giving people hope. And I think that's what we need in a world like we're in right now. That's what we need. We need some hope. And we need somebody that will consistently give that while also working on all the other things. Because all we can leave behind here is legacy. What's your legacy going to be? What's mine going to be? For me, when people think of me after I'm dead and gone, I want a smile to immediately come to their face, and I want them to think, that guy helped me out. That guy gave me hope. That guy worked hard for me. That guy sacrificed his time for me. That guy sacrificed money for me. That guy was always there for me. He was there to cry on his own, or he was there to cry with me. So no matter who is inside the city limits of New Bern, I will be there for everyone, no matter what, and I will work tirelessly to make sure that we are the best city we can possibly be. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. To the audience, you're incredibly well behaved. You didn't have to take anybody's legs out for extending, for talking too long. All of you were polite and quiet so they could think. Remember, none of them had access to the questions before they got here, which means what they were telling you was due to the research they had done, and they were talking from their heart. This is not some recorded thing. They weren't reading comments to you. They've done some work to make sure they're here. It's your city, so you have a couple things to do. One is you should inform your neighbors if they're not informed. Don't just take somebody off the street and say, go vote. Make sure they know what they're doing. Go to meetings like this, do a little research. Let's choose the best people we can to make sure that the city can continue to be the best city that anybody could possibly have here. It's on you now. So the last thing you can do is please thank our candidates for really working hard and for doing a great job. And then finally, I would like to again thank the Chamber of Commerce and the Community College for putting this on. I'd like to thank David for sitting there and having to watch a watch and wave his cards and do such a good job. And I'm sorry that Dr. Stats is ill, and I'll tell him that his staff did an incredible job, right from his VPs down to the people who were recording and doing the good work, but they all did well. Now, in the lobby, in the back of the room, the candidates have all agreed they will hang around for a while, not really till 3 o'clock in the morning, but they will be here to answer your questions, and you can ask things you didn't hear the answers to, and be a little more detailed, but don't pinhole the person, because there might be 20 more who would like to ask them another question that refers personally to them. So, so thank you all for coming. We'll let our gentlemen have a chance to maybe go to the restroom if need be. Then they'll meet you back in the lobby, and all of you are welcome to go back and chat with them. Thanks for being here tonight. Good citizens.